Tangut Kingdom. The year 1192 of the Black Rat. A boy tells the man behind bars that the monk he sent to find his wife is dead, but we have to go back 20 years to find out the whole story. Our hero was to be married to a girl from another tribe to make peace with them. The boy Temujin meets the girl, Bort, along the way when they stop at a friendly tribe to spend the night. Everyone is drinking and enjoying themselves by the fire, but Temujin is the only one who is not cheerful. He keeps thinking about his fiancée. He would like to marry someone from the tribe, but his father is against it, because he thinks the tribe is weak. In the morning he agrees to the requests and together with his son they choose his bride. He gives a lot of advice about the choice, but the boy already knew everything beforehand, but could not say directly. He immediately approaches Bort, and she agrees without a shadow of a doubt. The father reacts strangely, but still accepts his son's choice, for he cannot choose for him. Really, what will happen to the warring tribe now? On the way home, the father finally agrees with the choice and says his son did the right thing. But no one yet knew that day would change Temujin's life forever. A strong thunder and lightning began, and since Mongols are very afraid of the wrath of nature, they had to wait under the rocks, and when it was over, they continued their journey and met their enemies from the Merkit tribe. A servant of the enemy tribe brought them milk, and their father gave them milk and meat in return. Isuge's friends told him not to drink the milk given to him by his enemies, but he replied that if he did not follow the customs, the world would turn upside down, and he drank the milk. Soon he became ill and fell off his horse right on the road. His son went up to him and saw his father's death. Before he passed away, the man said that Temujin was now the new Khan. On his return to his tribe he sees the devastation, but can do nothing. Their people have gone against their own. The instigator of the whole nightmare, Targutai, who once served his father, wanted to kill Temujin and take power, but according to custom he can only do this when the boy is old enough, so he leaves poor Temujin alive. One day the boy said he would kill the rascal himself. Targutai chained the boy in wood and made him work, exhausting the boy and biding his time to kill him as soon as possible. Some people took care of Temujin, including one kind old man, but he only asked to tell his bride to wait for him. Deciding not to wait for his death, the boy ran away from the tribe with a piece of wood around his neck. His path was difficult, but he continued to pray to the master of the blue sky as his father had willed. After the prayer a wolf came to him, but the boy was not the least bit frightened. On the contrary, he closed his eyes. The winter was hard, he could not go home, otherwise he would be killed, and the only one who could help him was his brother Jamukha, and although it was a long way to him, the boy still dared to go. One day he was walking on the ice and fell through, but he survived because the god Tungri did not leave him. So the years went by and soon he was ready to meet his enemies, but first he had to pick up his bride, whom he had so longed to see. Temujin arrives at that tribe and goes to Dai Secheng. The man says that many years have passed and the girl may not want to marry him, but as soon as he and Bort see each other after years of waiting, they leave the tribe together immediately. The girl agrees without too much thought, because she has waited and dreamed as much as he has. Temujin cannot get used to his companion for a long time and keeps the girl at a distance, afraid of hurting her, after the lonely years of survival. Together they go to Temujin's family, where everyone is happy about their impending marriage, approving of his choice. The Merkits arrive at night and ask for their daughter-in-law, but no one gives them away. They leave Temujin's family behind, because they find traces of the couple in love and set fire to the house. Once the Merkits reach Temujin and Bort, they get on their horses and run away from the madman. Temujin shoots back, but the girl sacrifices herself to send the wounded man home. This is Isuge's revenge for falling in love with Temujin's mother. Temujin comes to Jamukha and asks for help in getting his girlfriend back. The latter tries in every way to explain to Temujin that there are many good girls, but that he only wants Bort. Jamukha agrees, but asks them to wait until next year, as it will be better for the war to begin. They arrive in Merkit lands and look around carefully. Jamukha notices something amiss. It was the Merkits, cleverly hidden in the rocks. Temujin saves Jamukha's life, puts on a Merkit mask and goes in search of his beloved. He climbs the fence and goes in search of his beloved, while the crazed Merkits attack him on all sides. His dexterity is astonishing, he masterfully tackles all the madmen and finds Bort. She has been living with a man, but knew that Temujin would come back for her. She is pregnant. He believes it is his son and rejoices over the girl's return. Temujin is given a sword and asked to dispose of the loot, but he refuses the sword and asks to share the rest. One of Jamukha's men is evidently displeased at this kindness, but he is quickly pacified. Early in the morning, Temujin goes to sleep with his beloved, and soon they are both leaving through the forest. Jamukha notices this but says nothing, but when his men leave with Temujin, it angers him. He catches up with his men and Temujin to find out what's wrong. It turns out that the Mongols have the right to choose who their lord is, so they chose the fair Temujin. Jamukha is very unhappy, and his brother said that he would take the horses they had given them. And indeed, some time later, Jamukha's brother tries to steal a herd of horses, but he is killed by Temujin's servant, thus saving the horses but inciting a war between the brothers. During the journey with the families, Jamukha and his men gallop behind Temujin. They outnumber Temujin's men in numbers, and he decides to do something unusual for a Mongol, to send the families away and stay behind to cover them. Bort asks only one thing, to stay alive and remember them. And so, Jamukha's army, like a swarm of bees, moves on Temujin and his men. War begins, and Temujin rallies in the front row, along with the others, risking his life just as they do. He is so exhausted that he has no idea what is going on at all, but he stands up and fights off the blows of the enemy. Jamukha and his friend decide that they want Temujin alive, so they simply corner him with spears. While held captive by Jamukha, Temujin is silent and does not ask for mercy, he just lies there. He begs for mercy, but Jamukha does not agree, and Temujin becomes a slave of Jamukha, but his men are not at all angry at him for losing, but only thank him for saving their families, otherwise they would all become slaves. A year later, Temujin is to be bought as a slave, but the old man tries to prevent this, saying that he sees in him a great general. No one believes this, so Temujin is still bought and held captive. He watches everything around him day and night, his appearance leaves much to be desired, and all he eats are the pigeons he manages to catch. The old man approaches him and apologizes for everything, asking him not to destroy their monastery along with the sacred books. Temujin gives the bone to be passed to Bort and asks the monk to kill the guard so that the man can escape. The old man never reaches Bort, but she awakens from a premonition and goes to the place where the monk died. Bort sees the bone and understands everything. She asks the master of the slaves to go with their caravan to the city, and he agrees. Bort approaches Temujin and looks into his eyes. Despite the bandage on his face, he quickly recognizes his beloved. The girl skillfully takes the key from the guards and gives it to Temujin. No dogs bark at the sight of the man, and he quietly escapes to his family in the cart. He has a daughter he didn't even know he had, but immediately tells her he is her new father, just as he did with his son. They stay in a strange place for the night and go to bed. Temujin goes to bed with his beloved and makes passionate love to her. Soon he comes to his senses and regains his former appearance. He plays with the children in the fields, and his son asks why he does not braid his braids like all the Mongols, to which Temujin replies that he is on his own. He is convinced that soon everyone will speak beautiful Mongolian. His son is now 10 years old, which means that soon he will go to choose his bride. Bort tells him that the Mongols have changed a lot, they kill and rob and do not spare children, but Temujin knows what to do about it. He asks his beloved to take the children and go home. Temujin goes to his horse, never answering the question of when he will return, and rushes off into the distance. Temujin arrives at the former place and asks the god Tungri for help to carry out everything he has planned. He wants the Mongols to have uniform laws, so that those who kill children and women, deny travelers food and lodging, buy up stolen goods, refuse the Khan and throw the sword during the fight, will be punished by death. With this ideology he came to all Mongols and most agreed with Temujin, but Jamukha still does not agree and they fight again. Jamukha's army again outnumbers his brother's army, but Temujin knows what will help them in the fight, the help of the god Tungri, the master of the blue sky. Jamukha sends the first army to Temujin. They fight their way through the enemy soldiers, killing them one by one right on the gallop. They are already closing in on Temujin's army, but his wise positioning of the troops quickly rectifies the situation. After a moment there is exactly nothing left of the crowd. This stuns and simultaneously angers Jamukha, so he sends his entire army to Temujin. God Tungri helps the praying man, and as soon as the troops approach each other, black clouds thicken in the sky and the battlefield is illuminated by flashes of lightning. Temujin is not afraid of thunder or lightning, on the contrary, he orders his troops to advance and gallops after them himself. After the fight, other Mongols from the enemy army give them their slain Khan Targutai, hoping for a pardon, but Temujin orders them to kill themselves as well. The men are shocked, so why do they have to die? The answer is simple, they have surrendered their Khan, and this is contrary to the laws that Temujin has invented. He walks on and sees the same old man who helped him as a child and asks him to give his men a herd of horses and to take all the other Mongols into his army. Jamukha sits on Temujin's lap as a prisoner, but he does not want to be a servant. He has only one question: why did Temujin not fear the thunderstorm like all the other Mongols? He answers that there was nowhere to hide from it, so he stopped being afraid. Jamukha asks what he will do to him, saying he would kill him himself. Temujin gives him a horse and releases either his brother or his enemy. The son approaches Temujin and asks him to go with him in search of a bride, who remembers his promise and agrees. But he has no room in his plans for family life yet, he must see this through to the end. He explains this to Borda, asking for her understanding, reassuring her that he will always return, as he has. Temujin asks the old man before he departs what awaits him, but he answers nothing, saying in the end that he himself knows what will happen. Temujin took revenge on Targutai, defeated his embittered brother, let him go and took both of Bort's children, and in 1206, Temujin became the ruler of all Mongols, the Genghis Khan of the Great Steppe. He conquered half the world, and the Tangut kingdom was wiped out, but the monastery survived, as the monk had requested.